Hi, everyone. I'm Jim Axelrod. A grand jury in Fulton County, Georgia, has returned 10 indictments. This is some breaking news we want to tell you about. Here you see earlier the case being handed to the judge in this courtroom 8D in the Fulton County Courthouse. We're now awaiting the full indictment to be unsealed so we can learn more about what seems to be happening in Fulton County, Georgia. Why don't we bring in CBS News Homeland Security and Justice reporter Nicole Skanga, who joins us from outside the courthouse. So, Nicole, can you set the scene for us? What is going on? What are the indictments expected to be about? Who do they pertain to? What do we know?
Well, we should say, Jim, there's more that we don't know than we do know right now. But here's what we do know. That case handed up to Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney in the courtroom. You showed that picture. The clerk, Che Alexander, telling reporters while leaving the courtroom there were 10 indictments, but noting that the grand jury handles all sorts of matters and saying it could take as long as 3 hours for that paperwork to be processed and for it to become an official document for us to be able to see exactly what those indictments are. Now, of those indictments, we did learn that 0 were no-billed. And what that means is a majority of the jurors here agreed on these indictments. So 12 of the 23 jurors must agree that there is probable cause, more evidence for than against, for a person to be able to be charged by a crime. And we were told that of those 10 indictments, 0 were no-billed, meaning that a majority of jurors agreed.
Okay, but let's set the scene. Obviously, we wouldn't be talking. Everyone is assembled at the Fulton County Courthouse, awaiting for news about the investigation into President Trump, former President Trump. So I want to be very clear here. We cannot confirm anything at this point that these indictments involve former President Trump and the case about the attempted request to find some votes after the 2020 election in Georgia. And I want to be clear about that. But, Nicole, what can you tell us about the involvement or the speculation that this is what we're talking about tonight, that this is the investigation that we are discussing?
Yeah, well, I am currently standing outside of the Fulton County Courthouse. There has been a heightened security presence all week. The street behind me has been closed to traffic. You can see lots of reporters and media gathered here today. We do know that this grand jury met today, Monday, was planning on also potentially meeting tomorrow to deliberate and determine whether or not we would see an indictment or multiple indictments allegedly connected, we believe connected to this larger investigation into possible election interference by the former president and many of his allies. Now, the investigation was prompted by a now notorious call that took place on January 2nd, 2021, from former President Donald Trump, who's president at the time, to the Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger. And in this now notorious call, Trump said, quote, "I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have." Now, that prompted a much more widespread, sprawling investigation into efforts by the former president and his allies to undermine Joe Biden's victory here in Georgia. It looked into a scheme to submit an alternate slate of electors to nominate Trump instead of now President Joe Biden. It looked into attempts to pressure or intimidate some poll workers. It also, in at least one county, a rural county outside of Atlanta, Coffee County, looked into one GOP official's escorting of 2 Trump operatives into the county's election offices. And so what began as quite a pointed investigation grew, and we saw 75 witnesses testify before a special grand jury separate from the grand jury we will hear from today. And that special grand jury, which met all of 2022, delivered a report earlier this year. That report was handed over to the Fulton County DA, Fani Willis, who is the one, who is leading this investigative probe and ultimately determines which indictments she hands over to this grand jury. Now, we know that there have been some decisions made. We believe they are in connection to this probe, but we are awaiting exactly what those 10 indictments might be.
Nicole Scanga for us at the Fulton County Courthouse in Atlanta, where, while we can't confirm indictments have been handed down in the investigation involving former President Trump, we believe that there has been some development